I had a cousin named Corky from West Helena, Arkansas, and they had called up here. I was about 4th, 5th grade. He's a year older than me, I think. And he was wanted to come up and spend the summer. He goes spend the summer and wanted me to teach him fish. And he didn't know a lot about fish. He's a city boy. He didn't know a lot about what's going on. So, boy, we couldn't wait. Wrote letters back and forth. Didn't have no telephone back then. And the day school was out, they brought Corky up here. His mom and dad did. And we, of course, after everybody eating everything, they was going to go back. And Corky, he was new here, and he was going to look around. So I'd made a David and Goliath, I believe it was a David and Goliath slingshot. You put a rock in a sack down there, and you take 2 strings, only had 2 letter strings. You swing it around like that, and then turn short string loose. And I could throw one pretty good. So I made him one. And so we walked up the road, and I said, I'm going to teach you how to throw this thing. So I gave him his, and I said, now get back. And I remember looking off a hill, from over to Luther McClure's. It was about a mile across a holler and a river, and he was out in the field. And I looked, and when I started winding that rock up, I wound that thing up. I thought, I'm going to throw it plumb through Luther's window. And boy, I put that extra into it, and I heard him go, Corky went, and fell in the ditch. And I throwed it backwards with that extra little whip I had to it. And hit him right in the eye. Well, it knocked him colder than a cucumber. And he was laying there, and the blood was pouring out of his eye. Well, there's a quarter mile, about a quarter, to my cousin. Lived in a little old house on the side of the road. And I run all the way to their house, and they wasn't home. So I come running back. Back then, you know, you get that age, you can just keep running. I come running back by him. He hadn't moved 1 inch. He's still piled up just like he was when I left him. And I go down there, so I run on past him. He hadn't moved any, and that's a half a mile of running. I run a half a mile to Grandma's house and got her. And of course, she couldn't run, but she was walking fast as good. And when we got back to him, now that is running and walking 1.5 miles, and he was just starting to get up. And he had to stand there with that slingshot in his hand, and it blooded the hog. And so, needless to say, we had to gather him up, get him in the truck, go to a phone. We called the state police, and they got them stopped about halfway to hell, and they had to come back and get him. Well, they come back and got him. Now, we had never made it to the river or nothing. They come back and got him, and took him and put him in the hospital, and he was blind in both eyes all the way to the day school started. 3 months. He was hit him in the head. Day school was out. He could see when he was blind as a bat. 3 months. When school started, went back. So I asked him. I wrote him a letter, and I said, Corky, would you like to come back next summer? And he wrote me some nasty things back to me, and said no. He would never come back here again. And I've seen him once since then, and I'm 57 years old. He never came back, but he's got a spot in his eye. I noticed that when I seen him. But so his summer wasn't worth a flip that year, but mine turned out pretty good.